from year one. In year one, we delivered lots of different training for groups, both in Ealing and Hounslow, to then share the insight and what they've learned with other people within their group or with service users, to really try and give people the tools they need for housing campaigning. So first of all, when I say housing campaigning, people might think, well, what is campaigning? You have to have so much experience, you need to know all about housing. Well, that is true to an extent, but also campaigning is more, it can be right across the spectrum in terms of encouraging people so their voice is heard. So campaigning could be someone who feels confident enough to send an email to their local councillor. It could be an email to an MP. It could be setting up a meeting, right all the way up to setting up a Facebook group and the campaigning that we think of where it has a higher profile. But it doesn't really matter what level of campaigning you do, because even if you're just sending emails, it's like a little flea in the ear of the council saying, why aren't you doing this? And why aren't you listening? And it kind of builds momentum. So it doesn't really matter what amount of campaigning people do. But we have been developing this website, a new website, because at the moment, a lot of the training that we've recorded, we've had training, things like co-production and report writing, community consultations. It's all there in our website. But year two, we really want to make it easier for people to connect to that information and to encourage them to use it and really feel confident in moving forward with their campaign on whatever level it may be. So I have put together a new website. It's not launched yet, it needs to be populated, but I thought it'd be interesting to show it to you guys because the main focus of it is making it a lot more user-friendly, because all of us, you know, we might go to a group's website and we know how to dig down and look for things and find the right information. But this website is standalone because it's purely for housing campaigning and everything people need. And I'm going to encourage people to, I'm going to start off working with groups. But if groups have service users who want to take part in this project, then they're more than welcome to. So in September, I've got some training planned, and it is about advocacy. Now, advocacy, I really don't like the word advocacy because people are like, what's that about? And it's confusing. It's used in so many different places, but I like to think of advocacy as meaning confidence and knowing how to move forward and really sort of empowering people. So we're going to be running some advocacy sessions, and we're looking for some groups, or maybe, like I say, service users that the groups have supported before. And they're really passionate service users, and they might be really interested in housing campaigning because they might have experienced something or helped support someone before, and they really they've got that passion and that enthusiasm. And so we're looking to work with groups to attend the training. It's going to be a very short training. It's not a huge commitment. It will be 3 different hour-long sessions. But then the difference with this training is I really want to keep in contact with the people who've attended that training, and because they will afterwards feel confident and inspired to carry on with campaigning and use all the tools in the website that I'm going to show you in a minute, and also inspire other people. So the whole time it's building momentum. So yes, I'm going to show you the new website now, and it'll be interesting to see to hear your thoughts. So first of all, I'll show you where our can everyone see the Ealing and Hounslow? So this is where information is at the moment. So you have to go to our website, the housing campaigning page, all about the project, and there's this toolbox. And within the toolbox is all our training, all about the project. Now, it's a little bit overwhelming for people, I think, who aren't familiar with housing campaigning. So I really wanted a standalone website that I could kind of promote on local neighborhood websites to get people really inspired. So I'll show you the new website. So the name of the project is Pitch, People Improving Together Community Housing. Now it's designed for a phone, so you're not getting the best view because I've got it on desktop, but hopefully you'll see that it's instantly a lot clearer about the aims of it. So we have different, so people can click on here about other housing advice groups in Ealing and Hounslow, about housing campaigning groups to join, start your own group. There is developing your skills and building your confidence. So straight away, we're taking away all those words about advocacy and co-production, because they can be barriers to a lot of people. They're like, you know, what's that about? Or perhaps someone whose English isn't their first language. It's difficult for us to know about, you know, co-production. What is it? Let alone if someone English isn't their first language. And then there's just links here to essential housing information. So straight away, people can visit this, and then I'm going to encourage them, once people have had the advocacy training, which will be in this build your confidence area so other people can see it, they can then, I haven't populated all the information here, but everything will be here for people to use it and to campaign, to make sure their voice is heard. And then I'm going to ask people, I've set up Twitter, so whenever they do some campaigning, they use the hashtag #PitchWestLondon. So we'll be able to see, we'll get almost, if you like, copied into their tweets, and we'll see how they're starting to use the tools here to campaign. And like, once again, when I say campaign, they might just be tweeting the council saying, I don't understand why there isn't housing information in community languages, which Ealing Council has been promising for a very long time. But that's just something, that's campaigning, that's all we need. More and more people do that, and then someone might see the hashtag and come to our website and think, you know, there's some really good tools in this. So the whole time it's snowballing and maintaining momentum, and because of using Twitter, it's basically going to be copying us in, so we can see how it's growing, and then it attracts more people. So that is my project. So yes, in September, we'll be starting the advocacy training. And like I say, it's only 3 one-hour sessions, but then there is the follow-up with people, and I want people to be really sort of committed and inspired to work with me and to start campaigning using this site. So I'll be having more chats with people to explain it to them. So I will be promoting it as soon as the course is confirmed, but I just thought it'd be interesting to tell you about it now. And if you know people who work in housing or any service users who are passionate about housing, then please bear this in mind, because it would be a great opportunity for them, particularly thinking perhaps young people. I work with, there's a girl called Rena, and she just left uni and had a sort of legal background, and she set up her own organisation called Justice for Southall, and she's been working with me, and she's really inspiring. And I'm thinking, you know, for a young person who's really interested in housing, this is giving them the tools and the platform, and off they can go and do their own campaigning. And it's great to build their skill set and to show people that, you know, if they want to build their career or they need to gain some more skills, they can just say, look, I went to Pitch West London, joined the project, did their training, this is how I used their information. So yeah, anyway, that's me talking and talking. Anyone got any questions for me? No? Okay, well, please do bear my project in mind, and It's been great talking to you all. Yeah, and so in a few weeks' time, I'll have the dates, and hopefully Noika can send them out again in the newsletter in case anyone they know or themselves are interested in joining the advocacy training and taking part in this project.
Toby, Lisa's put in a message in the chat for you saying it's an amazing project, and it is a brilliant project. A lot more clearer. I have gone through some of the previous trainings in advocacy and co-production, and I do know that it can sound quite complicated when it isn't all that much, but just the words are quite strong and quite forwarding, and you think it's such a dry topic, but this does make it a lot more interactive. The website is really nicely done. Apologies about yesterday when I did connect pitch with football, but I'm glad I got pulled on to the right.
Football? What you talking
and I was like, I'm not listening to Toby really clearly when he discussed the topic. So thank you for that. Yeah. Toby, you want me to, can I stop sharing now?
Yep, I will stop sharing that.
So thank you again for that, Toby. Really enjoyed that. The details that you put into the project. Do send us your details. I may not be able to send any slides to anyone on this project, but yes, I will. Ian and myself will update our respective newsletters in the borough of Toby's upcoming events and trainings, and look forward to those once they're confirmed. I now have Anna Santos from Shore Trust who'll be taking us through the project that she's working on, JETS, and over to you, Anna.
Thank you very much. So hi everybody, I'm Anna. I'm part of the integration team at Shore Trust. Also on the call we've got Amanda and Karen, who are two of my colleagues in the same team. So we did come and do a presentation to this forum a couple of months ago now, but we've recently added a new referral method, which is why we wanted to just kind of do a refresher of what we're offering for residents in Ealing and Hounslow and how they can access it. I do have a few slides. I'll try and keep it fairly snappy, just kind of a reminder of what the programme is, and then some information about how to refer any local residents that you feel might benefit from it. So if I can just let me share my screen. Okay. All right, can you see that?
No.
No, okay. Oh dear.
Yeah.
How about now? Yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Just needed to actually click on the sharing button. Would have helped. Okay, so here we go. So we are a charity that works with unemployed people across the UK to help them get back into work. At the moment, our focus and the focus for my team is to work across the West London Alliance. So that's Ealing and Hounslow, but also Harrow, Brent, Barnet, Hillingdon, and Hammersmith and Fulham. So we have two main programs that we're running at the moment, but we just wanted to focus mainly on one of them because it's more relevant for this meeting, and that is the JETS program. So this JETS stands for Job Entry Targeted Support. It's a program that was set up in response to the COVID pandemic. It's been running since October last year, and it's due to run to this time in 2023. So it's got some time to go. For the participants, it's a 6-month program of support, which is delivered remotely over the phone or through Teams meetings. Yes, most participants access it through Teams. So it's a program that's designed to help people who are still quite close to the job market, but who have been either made redundant because their industry is suffering because of COVID, or for any other reason, they are not in work and they need a bit of support to get back into work. So it's designed to help people kind of improve their employability skills and gain a bit of confidence and just kind of develop any key skills that they think they need to get back into work. And as the furlough scheme now starts to wind down, we are expecting the need for this kind of support to increase. So to be eligible for the programme, you have to have been in receipt of universal credit or job seekers allowance for 13 weeks. That's really the only kind of hard eligibility criteria, if you like. You have to meet that sort of time threshold. If anyone contacts us who's not quite at that point, we can keep their details and get back in touch with them when they are eligible. But that's quite we need to stick to that threshold. So the other thing to mention is it's available to people who are not on another programme that has been funded by the DWP. So if they're already on IPES or the Work and Health programme, which is the other programme that Shaw Trust delivers, then they would need to stay on that programme. So the delivery of this is done through an employment advisor, which is assigned to each participant that comes through to us. So they do an initial assessment with the participant to discuss the situation and any barriers to work that they might have. An action plan is then put in place, which is updated every 2 weeks during the review meeting, which takes place over Teams. And activities and support sessions are booked through this employment advisor. Sometimes the activities and support sessions are delivered by the employment advisor, and sometimes it's in conjunction with one of our partner networks who deliver different types of training. And each intervention is linked, it's always linked to a barrier to work that the participant has said that they have or that they've identified themselves. So some examples are on the screen. I'm not going to read them all out. I think the key ones are employability skills like CV writing, interview techniques for somebody that hasn't been to an interview for 20 years and suddenly they're made redundant. And also we have direct opportunities with employers. We have an employer engagement team here at Shaw Trust whose job it is to go out and source vacancies for participants who are on the JETS programme. So it's not just the skills and development, we can actually help with direct applications into employers that we work with as well. So the people that benefit most from this programme is anybody who is committed to finding work and those who are engaged with the programme. So we can't really help people who have been forced to come onto JETS or who aren't looking for work. They must be fully engaged with the programme. And it's just worth mentioning that they don't have to have been directly affected by COVID to come on. It's for anybody that has been on universal credit for more than 13 weeks. If they've been on universal credit for 6 months, that's fine as well. There's not really an upper limit for that. So because we're looking for people who are really engaged, we have slightly changed the way that people can be referred into the programme. So there's a few methods people can be referred. So the pre-existing methods were through the Job Centre Plus, so they have a conversation with the work coach, or from through another partner organisation that we have. They can also do a self-referral where they have to fill out a rather complicated form to be put onto the programme. But what we've started doing now is delivering information sessions to anybody that's interested in the programme, but is not quite sure what it is, not quite sure what's expected, what they can, what they're going to get out of it. So we're really trying to encourage any potential participants to come to these info sessions, which is delivered in the form of a virtual presentation and virtual kind of interactive discussion with either myself or another one of the members of the integration team to talk about the programme and whether or not it's right for them. And then at the end of the presentation, if the participant says they want to engage and they want to come onto the JETS programme, then we just do the referral for them, and it's kind of minimal back and forth with the work coach or filling out complicated forms and that kind of thing. So the benefit of this is that people will get a full understanding of the program and know what to expect before they come on. And we are finding that, you know, occasionally there will be somebody who it's not right for, but most people that come onto the info sessions then do want to go onto the program. So we just want to kind of get the message out there that this is something that's on offer to all residents in the West London Alliance, but for Ealing and Hounslow specifically. So I've just put the contact details for myself, Karen and Amanda on the slide there, and they're in the chat for the for this meeting. We also have a general email address if somebody would prefer to contact a general email, and that's just on the slide as well, and we'll put that in the chat. So that was it. Tried to keep it snappy, as I said. Did anybody have any questions for me? Is there anything that's come up in the chat? I haven't been looking at it, but I will look at it now. Does anybody have anything to ask?
If no one has a question, I think I have one question. In fact, yes. You did mention that the info sessions are because the forms are quite complex to sign up to the session. As a person who is looking for employment, you know, already comes with a bag of low confidence, and then going through a form which is complex would again be something that would bring their confidence even down. So is there a way to simplify that process? Yes, the information sessions are to, you know, to help with those forms and to, you know, to get that person, you know, pushing ahead and taking that next step, but to motivate and get more people to join the session. I think every step of the process should be a lot easier to help the other person. Maybe, you know, they've left employment for a while, or they're fresh out of uni and you know, looking for employment. So I think these beginning steps is where you need that hand holding and that help and support, and simplifying a process just is a better way. So just a suggestion there.
So I would say that the info sessions were put in place to make sure that the participants don't have to do any of that form filling in. So on the info sessions, we deliver a presentation, but then we do speak to each participant individually as well. We give them a ring and just talk to them on the phone and ask them, do you want to be referred? And then we get the details that we need over the phone, and they don't even see this form. It's all done internally, and having that you know, initial conversation with the person rather than your first approach to Shore Trust being, you know, a kind of impersonal, you know, email into an inbox or filling in a form, it does help with engagement. I think you're right. Jets is definitely for people who are a little bit lacking in confidence, who might have just come out of uni or just been made redundant. So that's why we've set this up, because we don't want anyone to be discouraged at the first time they approach us for help.
Thank you, Anna. I have a hand of Amanda and Jane. Amanda, are you answering, adding to that question? So I'll let you go first, and then Jane, and then Roger.
Thank you. No, it was just really just to reinforce what Anna was saying. So although we say the application form can be complex, it is actually basic requirements like national insurance, name, date of birth, that the fact that they've been claiming universal credit or job seekers for 13 weeks. There isn't a lot of detail, but however, absolutely, you know, if you're in that situation, any form, you just kind of, you know, you're blinded by it sometimes. So that's why, so we do the information session and then we phone people individually and we explain, and quite often people don't have all that information straight away, so we can work with them to gather that information, to get the information through and kind of handhold them through that process, if you like. So just hope that makes it, and that's exactly why we've introduced that, because of that.
Yeah, brilliant. I think that is something that's needed right now, because a lot of people, along with mental health and depression and everything, and not having a job along with that has been bringing people even further down. I'd like to pass on to Jane. Jane, you have your hand up there.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. I just wanted to ask a couple of questions, particularly around the kind of onboarding stage and how long that process takes. So from referral, how long can somebody who is either being referred or applying for support expect it to take before they become supported? And then in addition to that, your information sessions, how often do you run them? And have you begun to do face-to-face? And if so, where are you running them across our local area? Because you're a national initiative, I think you said. So where within West London are you running face-to-face sessions?
So,
and there is another thing I want to ask, but carry on. I want those answered as well. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of face-to-face provision, so far it's all been remote because JETS is a remotely delivered program. We are, as an integration team, we are looking at ways that we can deliver some of this information face-to-face. And in Ealing, we've been in discussion with Julie Emig, who's running the Advice Hub at the Northfields Library. So we would like to go there to deliver some of these sessions, and we're going to be speaking to other libraries. In terms of other places we will deliver face-to-face sessions, we're open to suggestions. Some other ideas that we've had is to speak to get involved with some of the sessions run by Catalyst Housing, who do some face-to-face work with some of their residents. And yeah, that's kind of, we're still developing that, but there is definitely a plan to deliver this information face-to-face for people that can't access it digitally. In terms of capacity for the info sessions, at the moment we're running them daily. So anytime somebody, if someone's not available on one day, they can come on another day, and we run them in the morning and afternoon, alternate days a week. So on Monday it would be the morning, Tuesday the afternoon, and so on. So hopefully people would be covered. If for some reason someone really can't attend any of the sessions, then we could always give them a call, or we'd find a way to accommodate them, basically.
Okay.
You had another question, but
yes,
sorry, I can't remember.
I've got a couple. Actually, I'll go back to that as well.
Okay.
So just leading on from what you said there, Anna, you're interested in finding venues for face-to-face. So I have a particular venue in mind in Hounslow that I work quite closely with.
Okay.
Is very central. Would you be interested in talking to them?
Yes, I think we would. I think so Amanda is the lead for Hounslow.
Okay.
But yes is the short answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because we work with organisations across the borough, and I'm aware of a particular centre that is doing a lot of community work, and it's very central in Hounslow, and they're keen to engage with the community, particularly with helping people back into work. So if they're a venue, they're not providing us the service, they would probably, I think you'd get on really well with them. And the other question I had was about how long it takes from the time that somebody approaches you to the point that they actually get spoken to or supported and feel that they're part of this organization.
Okay, so from the point of referral, so I'll start from the very beginning. If somebody approaches us to come on an info session, we will usually speak to them that day to get them booked on to a session. Then it depends when they can attend, so when the next one is that they can attend. After the information session, if we then make the internal referral, they should receive contact from our customer support team within 48 hours. And the customer support team, the purpose is to recheck the information that they've provided is correct, so their national insurance number and stuff. So it's just a kind of going through the information that they've provided, making sure it's correct, so they can then send it to the DWP to confirm that they are eligible and on universal credit. Following that contact, they should have a start meeting booked within 2 weeks. It's sometimes quicker than that, but 2 weeks is that's one of our performance targets from the Commissioner. So it should be a reasonably quick turnaround. If in the interim they want to attend some kind of careers advice or help while they're waiting for that start meeting with their employment advisor, they can access a one-off session through the NCS, who we work with, who deliver sort of careers advice sessions as a one-off. So if somebody doesn't want to, have no contact for that 2-week period, we can sort of arrange something else to fill that gap while they're waiting. But 2 weeks is the short answer to your question.
That's
from the point of
fantastic.
referral. Yeah.
So do you have a large staff? You're working across the country?
We do, yeah.
And
so
within West Hounslow, what is your resources? How many people do you have?
So in I can speak for Ealing, because that's the area I focus on. So in Ealing, we have a team of I think it's 14 employment advisors who are on 40-hour-a-week full-time contracts, who do these start meetings and review meetings most of the day.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
that absolutely, it's well worth actually approaching you, knowing that you have actually got the people to do it.
Yeah.
And the other thing, sorry, I did say there was something else.
That's fine. Yeah, ask away. Yeah.
Sorry, just one more thing. I'm just wondering how you align to other organizations, because you do take referrals. And so, for instance, just as an example, we work with a lot of volunteers. And, traditionally people go into volunteering for a number of reasons. One of which is they're trying to build skills with the intention of going into work. Do you work very closely with volunteer centres to pick up those people who are perhaps falling through the gap and are desperately trying to find a space? So if, for instance, I had a volunteer working with me and I think, they could just do with a little bit of support. I know what they're like. They're just fantastic people, but they're looking like they're lost in the system.
Yeah.
And I know what they've got to offer. Could I connect with Amanda and say, or to Anna, wherever they live, and say, this is one of our existing volunteers. Is the referral open to anyone? And do you align yourself or work closely in partnership with specific volunteer organizations?
Yes, so we would absolutely encourage and welcome a referral in that situation, either through this info session or just drop us an email or give us a call and let us know the details of this person, and we can find out what's the best method for them to be referred. So to answer the other part of that question, yes, we do work with partner organisations. I would say that originally when the programme was set up, we were only taking Job Centre Plus referrals. And part of the reason the integration team was set up was because it was opened up to other methods of referral. So one of the things that we've been focusing on is making sure that we have relationships with other organisations that could refer their service users or their volunteers, and that includes voluntary organisations. But the list for that is always growing, and we always welcome suggestions for other organisations that we can partner with. We all do work quite closely with the local authorities in each borough and with their job brokerage team as well. That's quite a key area for us.
Yeah, we would be very happy to share what you do on our tweets, on our website, because we'd like to obviously help people get into work as well, but that's not our job. Do you have a marketing pack that you share?
So that's something that's being developed, but yes, we do have information that we can share with you, graphics and things like that. So we would really love to get something like that set up. So after the meeting, we can connect with you about that offline and send you the information that we have, because I think one of the barriers that we've had is a lot of people who don't know about this offer. A lot of people don't know about Sure Trust because it was originally just set up for referral through the job centre. But now the provision is going to be there for the next 2 years. We're really wanting to make sure that volunteers and people who access other organisations know that this support is there, because it's a great programme.
It is a great program. It looks absolutely brilliant. And the only reason I am asking all these questions is because I know my colleague Peru would have asked, and she's not here today. And she is our volunteer champion, and she does everything to do with volunteers. So you can just write me off as half those questions were mine and half were hers. Okay.
Okay.
No, as many questions as possible is more than welcome. We're here to actually, understand the project, because we're the ones who then act as champions and take it forward, promote it forward. We have gone ahead and put up your ad of the events that you're running on JETS on our website. We've also added it to our newsletters, and I will send it to you also, Jane. It's on our website. We've started already promoting the hard work that you're putting in, so that it can reach as many people. Like you said, there's only so many channels that you can actually use, but the more the better. Roger, Jane, do you have another question for Anna?
No, I've been taking all the time. Roger, sorry, I'll turn off my mic now. Okay.
Oh no, don't do that. We'd love to hear more from you. Roger, I'd like to pass on.
Yeah. Okay, Anna, my question really follows on from what Jane's been talking about anyway. Are you actually physically encouraging people that come to you to volunteer? And B, can volunteer organisations link into you and say, look, if you get any volunteers, can you get in touch with us because we might have an opportunity?
So our volunteer team is, because we do have volunteers at Shore Trust, and actually a lot of the interventions and support sessions delivered to participants on one of our other programs, a lot of that work is done by volunteers. It is a separate team. We have a volunteer coordinator who's the best contact. We can certainly put you in touch and try and encourage linking up that way, because yes, a lot of the interventions on JETS, they're delivered by network partners as opposed to volunteers, but there definitely is room for volunteers at Shore Trust, and we're always keen to engage with new volunteers. So if you want to maybe drop me an email, I can put you in touch with our volunteer coordinator later on today.
Yeah, if you could put your email address in the chat, I'll pick it up. Thank you.
Yep, will do. Thanks.
Unmuting myself. Any more questions for Anna? If not, I have one last question, Anna, and I hope I haven't, bogged you down with our questions. Is there an age limit that you have for people joining in? So even those who are in the later part, left due to furlough or whatever, in their late 50s, can they also apply to this program?
Yes, they can. So as long as they're over 18 and they're still wanting to work, then yes. And we actually do have on the JETS program some interventions which are designed specifically for people who are older, because that's a slightly different, they might need a slightly different approach when it comes to boosting their confidence skills, and there's maybe more focus on transferable skills for someone that's a bit older, and we're kind of geared up for that, and we would encourage older people to engage with that as well. It's not just for young people.
That's brilliant, because a lot of people do not take in people who have worked for some years and are now looking for a change, but that's brilliant. Thank you. I have had a few inquiries, I think, at this session, at this forum too. We do not have most of the organizations who normally join us today, but we have had inquiries of seniors wanting to get employed, and maybe I just passed on a message to a couple of organizations I remember of the program that you're running for them.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. I would now like to, if there are no more questions for Anne, I'd like to proceed with the next. Jane, your hands up. Is there for another question or an earlier one? Okay. Okay, great. So we'll proceed to the next phase of the session, and I'm going to share my screen again. I love doing that. So again, you see my screen there?
Yep.
Okay. We've now moving on to our interactive session to explore and understand how cash has worked for us. I would encourage even, I would go and put in my comments too. So Jane, myself, and Ian will also be participants today, and putting in our opinions. So don't feel shy. You can add a couple of answers. It doesn't have to just be one. So I'll put that right in the center. Okay, to start off with, we just want one word. Okay, this is where we need one word of what cash means to you. And I'm going to be putting in a code on, if you have your mobile phone with you, if you can go ahead and put in this code. Can't see it on my screen here. Jane, do you see the code there? No. Okay. Let me try and see if it comes on my screen without sharing. Just stop sharing for a second. Sorry about that. Just give me a second and I'll try to move the taskbar. Jean, are you able to open the same thing at your end where we can see the code there? You're on mute.
I will unmute. In actual fact, because this is feedback about the cash meeting, I'm just wondering whether the Short Trust would like to participate, because there are 3 of you here, and I know it's taking up a lot of your time being part of this meeting. We would love your feedback, but are aware that this is a big commitment on your part to be part of an ongoing
But I think Short Trust has been with us for most of our meetings. So
that's fantastic. Hold on, let me get the, hold on. Which one is the first one, Noika?
It's the one with the stars.